The following presentation is part of the Beyond the Blast Doors network.
This week on BTBD Live, John Boyega talks to GQ in the UK about where the nuance in the Star Wars sequel trilogy went, why it's a problem, and why it spans the entire industry.
We have a Lego leak. Fans got our first glimpse at the brand new Star Wars Lego Cantina Mos Eisley set, but there's got to be a price for being that pretty. We're going to take a look at what the fans can expect from this brand new set.
And granting a wish. The Beyond the Blast Doors network hosts our first podathon this weekend to raise money for Make-A-Wish. We'll introduce you to Carol Tabakhorst, who explains how your generosity will give a child a memory they'll never forget.
The farthest reaches of the galaxy, the Midwest. You're watching Beyond the Blast Doors live.
A lot of excitement here at Beyond the Blast Doors Network at BTBD Live. Thanks for joining us for episode 86 of BTBD Live, where you can catch us every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Pacific. You can catch us at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. David Amalotti and my co-host, Pete Fletzer, ready to have a great time with you. And we are excited because we are just, 48 hours away from the great, the exciting, the jubilant, the first of its kind, the BTBD Podathon this Saturday, and we're going to be talking a lot about that. But first, I just want to say hi to my buddy, Pete Fletzer. It's the first time where you and I are both in the cockpit together from start to finish. This is great. How you doing, buddy?
I'm super excited, man. I'm really I've always been a fan of Beyond the Blast Doors as a news show, and now to be like an official part of it is really exciting. And Podathon coming up this weekend. Just talk about, there's so much to talk about. It's funny, not big news, but a lot of things happening, a lot of things to talk about. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a really good time, and we'll talk more about the Podathon as we play out. Hey, it's a new day, it's a new show, it's a new co-host, it's a new intro. It's just a bunch of new. We didn't have a show 24 or 38 hours ago, but my gosh, stuff just kind of fell out of the sky. It's like God was like, bless you. Here's some Star Wars news. And so we're going to dive into that. And just want to say thank you so much for being with us here for episode 86. You're watching live. We want to know, what do you think of that new intro? A little spicy. You like it? Did it suck? It's fine. You can say if you don't like it. I think it was pretty good.
No, nobody would say it sucks. It's a lot of fun. It's great.
Oh my gosh. Hey, by the way, just want to shout out Jared the Dark Jedi. Just gave us a $5 super chat. He says, hello from the Nerd Academy. Can't wait for the Podathon. I'll be watching as much as I can. You guys are the GOATs. Heck yes. Thank you, my man.
Thanks you, Jared, man. That's awesome. And if you're not listening to Nerd Academy, you have to be, man. There's such a great show. I had the great pleasure of being on that show with Jerry from Bombadcast, and I I don't know what happened. It was just so much fun. It was a great show. Jerry's a great guy, and their show is it's pure fun. It's a great time. So thank you so much, Jared.
I didn't mean to cut you off, buddy. We were so lucky to have such incredible people in our Star Wars conversation, and you don't have to send a super chat for us to say those nice things about you. But what a pleasant surprise! What a great way to kick off tonight's conversation. That super chat, by the way, we'll go ahead and put that towards our Saturday goal of $500 raised for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Want to dive in the live chat real quick, but like I said, if you like the intro, tell us what you think about the new bells and whistles in the live chat, or you can tweet us at BTBD Star Wars. Looks like we got Scotty with us, we got Nick, we got Mr. Rez, we've got Dale, we've got Apprentice Ewok, we got Matthew Harrington with us in the live chat. Hey, buddy, look at that, a Patreon supporter. We got Holo Chronicles boys with us. We got Andy and Josh. We got a full house, and we're just going to ask you, as always, right now, take the link of the live show. Let's blast that out. Facebook, Twitter. Let's try and double the live chat. Let's try and get this party rocking. And there is a lot to get to before we talk about probably what is the most talked about happenings in the Star Wars galaxy in the last, week, 2 weeks? I don't know. John Boyega has been quiet for a long time, and we've heard from him, but I do want to pull out this question, and it will lead into that opening topic, Pete. We put out a poll this week. Every Monday, we're going to be putting out a poll of the week question that will be open all week. We want you to vote. This week, the question was simple. Is Disney's vision for Star Wars in the next few years on the right track? We want you to always vote, retweet that. 77%, more than 77%, Pete, say yes. They feel Star Wars is on the right track. And when you think about that, I'm not surprised, right? Because we're getting all these new shows. We're getting season 2 of Mandalorian, Kenobi. We know that 2022, 24, 26, there's new movies.
Right.
There seems to be a lot, but there's still a large enough group to notice. They're not necessarily on board what's happening. I think, I'm pretty sure you and I we're pretty content. We have our irks, but we're pretty
Yeah.
happy, right?
Well, I mean, I'm really happy with where it's going directionally, right? I mean, we couldn't be. We live in it. I've said it so many times lately. We live in an amazing time to be a Star Wars fan. So often I say that I'm jealous of my kids because they'll never know what it means to just wait and wait and wait and wait for Star Wars. It's coming. It's coming. It was so funny when we found out that we were going to be 2023 or whatever it was for the next film, and there was just this immediate knee jerk reaction of, oh, that sucks. But man, there's so much content I can't keep up with it. It's difficult to keep up with. So I think it's going now. I guess it's a bigger question about, is it going in the right direction? It's one thing to have a lot of content. The bigger question is it going in the right direction? And I think the stories that we're seeing, I think the what we know about Mandalorian, what we expect from these other upcoming shows, I think that says a lot. I think with Filoni at the helm of, or at least at the side of the helm for Mandalorian, we see what happens when the ship is being driven by the right folks. And so I have confidence. I don't have confidence or an understanding of what's happening in the marketing side of things, but that's a whole other conversation. But I couldn't be happier to be a Star Wars fan right now.
Yeah, we left the question pretty much open ended, Pete, but I just felt like, in general, where are we feeling? And I guess when I think of Star Wars, I always first think the story. So, do we like where the
Sure.
story is going? And
Yep.
yes, my goodness, with The Mandalorian season 2 coming out in a couple of weeks, we're super well, about a month and a half, but we're super excited about that. What we're getting with the books, we won't talk about it on today's show, probably Saturday, but that new Thrawn novel, I'm 2 chapters in, really fun read from Timothy Zahn. And the comic books, they're slowly starting to creep out. So whether it's on the screen or in your hand, Star Wars story continues. Very curious to see where it goes. We all have our gripes, but I don't know. So far, the franchise has made like $6 billion, but it's not necessarily about the money, Pete. And this kind of transitions into the first topic of our show today, which is the fact that John Boyega breaks his silence and speaks about all the nuance in Star Wars, the sequel trilogy, and the fact that he feels that his character didn't get the nuance, but it was characters like Daisy Ridley's Rey. We have Kylo Ren getting that, and it opens up a really interesting conversation because one of the strengths we all view the sequel trilogy, or I think a lot of us, I should say, view, is the diversity, especially when we saw The Force Awakens. And you had all these unique perspectives, but maybe the most unique, Pete, was being able to see that we had a stormtrooper that had broken away from the Empire, a defector. And by the end of that film, he's holding a lightsaber. You've talked about this a few times.
Yep.
But as a storyteller yourself, as a writer, The Force Awakens really set up an epic journey for Finn.
Right.
It didn't finish up that way, though, did it?
Right. No, it sure didn't. And I think that's one of the things that's most interesting. So first of all, I think it's a really interesting time, just socially, and saying that is like the understatement of the year. It's such a strange year. It's been so between finally a conversation, or a real conversation, a heated conversation about racial tensions, and not just in the U.S. but globally. So it's about time we talk about it. And I think what I really like about what John had to say in the GQ article is nobody understands it other than somebody who's been in his position. I'm totally paraphrasing and I'm getting it wrong, but the gist of it to me is, I remember clearly, and this was before I was back in the throes of Star Wars Twitter and some of the ugliness that's out there, but I remember clearly when John Boyega was the first shot of the first trailer, the ugliness that came with that. Now, fortunately, I I it didn't affect me. I didn't say, "Oh, a black stormtrooper." I didn't go there, but so many people did that it's impossible to ignore that as a piece of the conversation. Um, the thing that makes me nervous, though, about this story, quite honestly, is that it's starting to stir up different connections between people who didn't like The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker. And here's my opinion, better or worse. Um, I think Last Jedi, yes, did they sideline Finn? Absolutely, they did. It was to me the biggest mistake of a movie that I feel otherwise is really really good. The Rise of Skywalker, I've gone on record, I'll continue to go on record saying it was a rushed mess, right? I mean, I liked it as a movie. It was a fun time movie, but they left so many breadcrumbs. They made so many opportunities to grow Finn's character, to do something with him, and the fact that all we saw was the full growth of really just Daisy Ridley's character, Ray. Um, he's 100% right. They dropped the ball. It's one thing to have an African American on the poster, right? And it's another thing to do something with that character. And so his perspective seems to be Disney threw him out there as a carrot, as sort of a, hey, look, we are paying attention to being diverse and being inclusive, but they didn't follow through. And I don't think it would be as painful if we didn't know that there was so much potential, so much left on the table from, as you said, when he took that lightsaber in episode 7 and nothing else happened other than him saying, "Hey, Ray, I got to tell you something." That's as far as that went. That's uh, that's just, to me, it's not great storytelling. And the thing that I love about that is hearing John Boyega's perspective, because to me it's just bad storytelling. To him, it's, hey, this has happened to me and happened to people of color before. We throw the character out there and we don't finish it up. And it's a really interesting perspective. I don't have a right answer, and I don't think that's what we're trying to get to, but
No.
it's a really interesting perspective that I really enjoyed reading. I thought the article was fantastic.
Yeah, and again, this is GQ out of the UK, and everything. A lot of what Pete just discussed, it kind of backs up a few things that John mentioned in the article. I'm the only cast member whose experience of Star Wars was based on their race. To Pete's point, there was a lot of backlash, unfortunately, about there being a black stormtrooper, which is, to me, just, I don't understand how
It's
people can
insane.
be that way. Our world, we are diverse, and it shows. This is a perfect example of how the galaxy far, far away is a reflection of our own society.
Yep.
And it showed the ugliness, and we have so much more work ahead. We can all do a better job, right, of being accepting, being inclusive. And it just shows, wow, overall society, we've got a lot further to go. He mentions the fact that it also happened with characters in The Last Jedi, like Rose Tika.
Mhm.
We have Lando's daughter in Rise of Skywalker, completely ignored. I mean,
Yep.
had what, a minute and a half maybe on screen. So you
Yep.
were bringing in diversity, and I've said this before. You said it just a couple of minutes ago, but when you do look at it, it is the checking of boxes without
Yep.
the follow through, without the substance, and that's what's John's point. Because when you read this full article, he's talking about, unfortunately, the ugliness that he's experienced in the world,
Mhm.
in Hollywood, from people who are assumed to be more accepting. They're not. An industry still heavily flawed. We are human. We are flawed. It's so easy to be like, well, it's 2020. Can't we be better? Well, we can be better,
We should
but
be.
we should be. There's we have a lot of work to do, and we all have our role in it. I thought it was interesting how he made point. I'll be quiet while I'm under contract, basically. But I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm not going to say it was a great experience on these movies anymore, because he feels like uh, he was able to bring that new perspective to Star Wars.
Well, and I think, one of the really interesting things that he brings up in the article is, and the thing that is it's really frustrating and aggravating when I see it on Twitter or on social, is people saying, "Well, stop complaining because Star Wars brought you to where you are. Don't complain while you're sitting in that beautiful house that you're now able." That's ridiculous, and I think that's part of this whole institutional racism that we're trying to work through. Is it's not it's never, hey, settle down. That should never be where we are with this. And it was really interesting that, when you read the article and even when you see some of the video that they have posted on the website, there's almost like a release for him, sort of a freedom that he never had before. And look, I mean, eh, I get it. When you're 20, he was 23 years old, I think, when he was cast as Finn. Different time, different world for him. Just as a human being, right? If you or I got offered that role at 23 years old, you are going to be quiet. You are going to sit at the table. You are going to follow the rules. But I respect him for being, yeah, I'll call it brave. It is brave to get up there and say,
Absolutely.
hey,
Absolutely.
Star Wars. I mean, look, I don't think anybody's going to say otherwise. Star Wars made his career, jump started his career, and
Mhm.
here he is taking that risk and saying, hey, something do better. And there's no problem with the phrase "do better." We should be doing better.
Yeah, if I can, Pete, I'd like to take a time and read about a paragraph and a half from this article because I think it's important.
Hmm.
I think it's really important just to read his words in full, and we are definitely encouraging you to read this article in full. And let me tell you, I will always be a fan of John Boyega, because he's always been honest. He's
Hmm.
always been honest with fans, and he's let his annoyances sometimes just as a fan slip out. This is a human issue. This has nothing to do about your fandom or my fandom or our fandom.
Right.
And that's why when this first dropped, I said, let's talk about the why, not the what. Yeah, he's
Hmm.
talking about the Star Wars character being pushed away, but it's a systemic racism. That's the issue at hand. It's how a human feels. And now he's able to talk about it. So this is what he was able to say in this article just the other day. It's so difficult to maneuver. You get yourself involved in projects, and you're not necessarily going to like everything. But what I would say to Disney is do not bring out a black character, market them to be more important in the franchise than they are, and then have them push aside. It's not good. I'll say it straight up. Of course, he's talking about his character Finn here. He's also talking though about other people of color in the cast. I mentioned Naomi Ackie's character, right? The we believe the daughter of Lando. Kelly Marie Tran. So much hate was given to her. She left social media. You have Oscar Isaac. He's from Guatemala. Uh, a lot of diversity in this cast. Um, but he definitely feels like there was some suffering. He goes, like you guys knew what to do with Daisy Ridley. You knew what to do with Adam Driver. You knew what to do with these other people. But when it came Kelly Marie Tran, when it came to John Boyega, you said F all. So what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say this? I enjoyed being a part of it. It was a great experience. Nah. I'll take that deal when it's a great experience. They gave all the nuance to Adam Driver, all the nuance to Daisy Ridley, and let's be honest, Daisy knows this, Adam knows this, everybody knows I'm not exposing everything. And in a nutshell, that's the Star Wars portion. He also goes into digging into his heritage and the fact that his publicist would like grimace when John was trying to find clothing that was more I mean, it just reflected it reflected his origins, his histories, his family lineage, and
Hmm.
that bothered him. And so that's digging more and more into the systemic issues at hand. Uh, you know, when I hear these words as I read them back out loud, I think I hear pain and passion and love. Right? He had passion for the
Hmm.
project. He loves the franchise. I think that he would say that there's a lot of great people out there who have been kind to him and over the years. But he's also had to deal with bigotry. He's also had to deal with divisiveness. And now he's in this opportunity, where the chains are broken. He's not with Disney anymore. He can speak his mind. You're seeing him in the streets, participating with the Black Lives Matter movement. And I think that this shows that, okay, he's not just this actor. This guy is someone that you can admire. This is a guy that's really changing the world for the better with the platform that he's been given. Yeah, Attack of the Nerd. Or I'm spacing on the movie that he was in.
Oh, Attack the Block.
Attack the Block. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
had that movie and he gained some notoriety. But like you
Yep.
said, Star Wars launched him. So
Yeah. Yep.
using this platform for good, I applaud him, and I hope he says more.
Totally agree. Yeah, and I think one thing that as David just said, and I think it's really important, read the article, and anybody who pulls headlines from it, and or single lines from it, are using it to support. Jared is in the chat, so he'll be with me on this. Like, it's being used by Fandom Menace to now beat up the Last Jedi. It's being used by people who didn't like the Rise of Skywalker to beat up the Rise of Skywalker. Look, Disney made a mistake, and I love that he had the guts to say, look, they knew what to do with Daisy, they knew what to do with Adam, they didn't know what to do with me. So I'll put that to rest, but it's definitely worth a read. Um, it's a really interesting and insightful article, and it made me. I'm continuing to learn, and I think that if nothing good comes out of this year, it's I'm now taking the time to try to learn other perspectives more so than I ever have before. Um, and hearing his perspective will change the way you look at the larger issue. It's not a Star Wars issue, as David said. It's a larger issue than that.
Absolutely. We're witnessing John Boyega's hero's journey right now in real life, and it's absolutely stunning. And again, to echo again, we can always all do better. What do you think about John Boyega's words in GQ? Pretty powerful, very raw, very intense, words of truth. What's your take? Let us know in the live chat down below, or if you're listening on the rewind, you can join us always on Twitter at BTBD Star Wars. All right, so coming up next, we're going to completely shift because we want to do our part making a difference here on the Beyond the Blast Doors network. You've seen us talking about this for about a week now. It's our Podathon. It's a 12-hour from start to finish sprint of Star Wars talk. And this is, honestly, this is an egg that came out of Pete Fletzer's mind. He got the ball rolling on this. I'll give you credit, Pete. But we've got the schedule up right now on screen. Pete, talk to just real quick because we're going to be joined with a member of the Make-A-Wish family for an interview here in just a couple minutes. But just real brief, why are we doing this Podathon September 5th from your perspective?
Yeah, I think one of the things that's really important and especially now, right, in this strange time that we're living in, as I said before, we need to take a second to realize that uh, we can do more as a fandom. And I think when we don't try to take advantage of, $5 out of your pocket will go such a long way. You'll hear about it in a minute with the interview from with Make-A-Wish. But what's really important is, look, we have this great community of people who join us every week, who are part of the Beyond the Blast Doors family through our Twitter outreach and things like that. And I think now is the time to let's just see what we can do. Let's see if we can raise a little bit of money for a fantastic cause that we can all get behind. Um, and we are, as our little trailer video that we put up earlier this week says, at its heart, Star Wars is a story of hope and of that ability to do good, and we as a community should do that. Just give it a try. And look, on top of that, to get to hang out with some of these amazing people for 12 hours on a Saturday, I'm either gonna love it or I'm gonna jump out the window. But it's gonna be so much fun. I'm really excited about it.
We are all really super excited about it. It's not just your friends here at the Beyond the Blast Doors network. We've got guests from across the Star Wars fan galaxy: Alex Damon, Palaboy, Silver Collared Knob, the latest. I keep saying collared like a dog collar. It's colored knob, but the latest parody band from some of the knuckleheads on this network. We got a new show debuting. We got Fantha Tracks. We've got Alex Segura, a writer, author of one of Poe Dameron's latest adventures. He'll be joining Pete, so a lot to be excited about. And we wanted to take some time tonight to really dig into why we thought Make-A-Wish made a lot of sense as an organization to raise money for. And to like what Pete already said, right? It's the kids. And giving these kids a reason to smile, a reason to have hope, a reason to laugh. And so I'm really thankful, got the opportunity to talk with she's now my friend, Carol. She works with Make-A-Wish at the state level in Iowa, and she was willing to come on the show for a couple of minutes, and she's going to break us down what your dollars, what your generosity on Saturday will do. So really excited to share this interview with you. Again, this is for our Podathon coming up this Saturday, and sit back and relax. Joining us now is Carol Tabakhorst. She joins us with Make-A-Wish Iowa. She's the Director of Development. She's joining us now to talk about Make-A-Wish. We're living in a time where there's a global pandemic, but we also know that still every minute there is a child diagnosed with a critical illness. Carol, you're joining us to give us a little insight. How does Make-A-Wish still grant wishes during a time of a pandemic like this?
The biggest change for us right now during the pandemic is that we're not able to grant travel wishes. Kids who have a critical illness just aren't able to travel in this atmosphere. So some of them are waiting for their wish, and that's where hope really becomes essential. And we're still providing that to them by sending them small gifts. We had some volunteers make up buckets of sunshine. As far as the other wishes go, we are granting lots of wishes to have. So a big thing right now are actually travel trailers, because That way, some kids can travel who wouldn't have been able to otherwise. In fact, with the storm that we had recently in Iowa, we had a family with a kiddo who got a travel trailer, and they've been living in it for the last few weeks because a tree fell on their house. But otherwise, shopping sprees and room makeovers, swimming pools, those are the kind of wishes that we're able to grant right now. And the biggest news for that is those are kind of really expensive wishes. You know, a swimming pool with an adaptable chair that can get you in and out of the pool costs quite a bit more than a trip to Disney would.
When we talk about granting these wishes, every dollar truly does count. Again, every dollar raised during the BTB.net Podathon on September 5th will go to Make a Wish. How do these dollars really work to stay local to help these kids get their wish granted?
So in Iowa, right now, 74% of every dollar raised goes directly to a wish. And it doesn't really matter the amount. If you're talking, say you could make, you know, $100 gift, that would help for a send-off party for the kid, meaning that when we actually present their wish to them, we also give them a little bit of a party in one way or another and relate that to their wish. Or at the $300 level, it could offer accessories for a photography wish. At the $500 level, it might be a fancy dress for a Sweet 16 or a quinceanera. And then if you're even at like the $10,000 level, we count that as actually paying for the entire wish. So the average cost of a wish in Iowa right now is a little over $13,000, but we do know we're going to get some in-kind donations to help cover those fees.
Wonderful. And I have to ask, when you get the news that you can grant a wish, how does that quite work? I'm kind of always curious. Are you waiting for like that dollar amount to hit and then that goal is achieved? How does the planning work in that regard?
So we're constantly fundraising. That never stops. And so we've never, ever had to actually turn a wish away. And we hope that doesn't happen. For the past several years, from the beginning of a child actually comes to us needing a wish to the time they have their wish happen, it's been about 12 months. Because of COVID right now, it's about 30 months to make that happen. And part of that, like I said, is because wishes are waiting. But from the time that a kiddo comes to us and we know that they have a critical illness, we've already had fundraising happening, you know, all year long. So it's a matter of sometimes when they can make the wish happen, sometimes they are in the middle of treatment and they want to wait until that treatment has ended. In some cases, say a celebrity wish, they have to wait till the celebrity can fit it into their schedule. And right now that's all virtual, but it really is dependent on the child and what wish they choose on how soon that wish can happen. As far as the funds go, like I said, we're fundraising all the time. That never ends. Either events, individual donors, corporate donors, we're always accepting donations.
If we can, let's go and talk about some of those wishes that you have helped grant, Carol, because, you know, we're going to get together on Saturday. We're going to talk a lot of Star Wars for 12 hours and try to raise some money. We have some kids that they've asked for Star Wars specific wishes. Can you tell me a little about Evan? What's Evan's story?
So Evan actually was 2 years old, and his specific wish was to go to Disney. And what he found there was that he loved Star Wars. And unfortunately, Evan has passed away, but he had a malignant neoplasm, and he was from Des Moines, and that was considered a rush wish. And what that means is we know that kiddo can't wait. We have to turn that wish around as quickly as possible. And again, those wishes cost a little bit more because you can't plan those in advance like you can a trip to, say, London. And we actually had a kiddo in 2016 whose wish was to go watch the filming of Star Wars 8. And so he got to go to London to do that. And at that point, he was 9 years old. And to make that wish come true was pretty phenomenal and took a lot of planning.
What can you tell me about Aiden? Because Aiden seems like another kiddo that that he got the wish of a lifetime.
He did get a wish of a lifetime. So Aiden truly wanted to meet the Star Wars characters. And so he went to Disney World to do that. He's a 9-year-old from Pleasant Hill. He is nonverbal, but he got to do the Jedi training. So him and his siblings got to do that together one at a time. And it made his trip to be able to actually do the Jedi training.
Can you tell me, because I think this is a big misunderstanding, Carol, is that Make-A-Wish grants wishes for all kids. It's not a case where all these children are terminally ill. And my goodness, there are a lot, and it's so important to comfort them, but you provide comfort and joy to so many more kids. Why does that misconception exist?
So I think originally when Make-A-Wish was formed, that was kind of the concept that we granted wishes to terminal children, but it has since changed so much. Now that we're granting wishes to children with critical illnesses, we're seeing kids get better. In fact, the wish is helping kids get better. We're offering them hope, strength, and joy. And we're finding that doctors are telling us, families are telling us, that the wish should be part of their treatment protocol because it really is helping them cope with their illness more. It's bringing them out of depression sometimes because kids who are in the hospital a lot, they don't get to spend time with their brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles. You know, one parent usually is in the hospital with them while the other's at home, or grandparents, or others are taking care of their siblings. So when a wish is granted, the whole family is involved in that wish because we think that's part of the healing process as well. And so we're pretty proud to be able to say the wish actually is helping kids get better.
How cool is that? And I'm curious, after this Saturday, we can all continue to help Make-A-Wish and its mission to grant these wishes to kids across the country, some in our respective state, but of course, Make-A-Wish America helps kids across the country. How does someone like me, just someone off the street, get involved and help you grant a wish?
There are so many different ways. Come to our events. Those have been limited because of COVID, but our biggest event of the year is coming in this fall. It starts on Black Friday, and it's called Jolly Holiday Lights. It's a Christmas light display drive-through, so it is socially distanced already. Last year, we had over 23,000 cars come through that event, and we're able to grant 80 wishes just from that event. It's kind of a tradition for people in the Des Moines area because it happens at the Adventureland campground. But for $20 a car, you can have an evening of cheap entertainment. You can even, take your pizza along in the car with you. But any of our events are a great way to help out. You can make online donations. In fact, you can set up monthly online donations and get to those, different goals of, I want to be able to grant an entire wish, or I want to be able to, pay luggage for a family that might be traveling. You can hold your own event. We have a lot of people who do external events. So they do a golf tournament or some type of coin drive. And those are always very much welcomed. And then the last thing you can really do that helps is volunteer. We always need volunteers to help with our events, but also help grant wishes because our volunteers are our wish granters. And there is some training involved, and it does take a little bit of effort on your part, but our volunteers are the ones who go out and meet with the wish families and become the face of Make-A-Wish. So in all of those ways, you can help truly grant a wish and partner with us.
Carol, I just want to say thank you so much for your time today and speaking about the mission of Make-A-Wish, what we do across the nation, what we do state by state. Before I let you go, is there anything that I have not asked you or you have not said that you'd like to include before we let you go today?
Just really, I think our point right now is that granting wishes provides hope. And you hear about, all of the essential workers during this pandemic. We feel like hope is essential. And that's what we're trying to promote.
Carol, it has been an absolute pleasure to get to know you here in the last couple of days, to meet you, to hear from you, and learn about Make-A-Wish. We look forward to hopefully being able to grant a wish or two by the end of our podathon. And if there's anything else we can ever do for Make-A-Wish, let us know. We're always happy to help.
Thank you.
a big thank you to Carol again for joining us for that wonderful conversation, that insight into what Make-A-Wish does. Again, what we got was an experience there about what happens at the local level, how when you donate on Saturday to the BTBD Net Podathon, those dollars go to Make-A-Wish America, but how those dollars will trickle down to the local effort to actually grant those wishes. It's pretty incredible what we'll be able to do together this Saturday as a fandom. And I've got it looks like I've got a bounty hunter with me now on set. I think Pete, you got a helmet there, bud, huh?
Well, yes, I do have a helmet, and you can win this helmet. Not this one specifically. We are it's part of our efforts, and thank you. We are everybody who donates. Um, for every $5 you donate during the Podathon, actually even before Podathon, you can go and you can donate today at tiny.cc/Podathon. Um, for every $5, your name is gonna go into a fishbowl that we are literally going to draw live at the end of the event. Somebody is going to win. Not this one. This is my own. Sorry, this is mine. But we do have one in a box that is ready to be shipped out to a winner as as soon as we finish the show on Saturday. But this is boy, that was a if you weren't thinking about doing it before you saw that interview, what a great job, and so great to hear directly from Make a Wish. And again, like we were saying before, this is why we do it, right? This is why we want to bring some money in so that these kids, and especially now, it was so heartbreaking to hear the travel wishes. That's what I feel like they're kind of known for, right? You can't do those. So anything we can do to help any of these kids is valuable. And it's just, Star Wars is about giving back, and Star Wars, even Lucasfilm and Disney, that's sort of their mission. And if we as Beyond the Blast Doors can do that, let's do it.
Absolutely. And again, big thanks to Carol for giving us that insight. I love those wishes. And yeah, unfortunately, some of these kiddos, they won't make it much longer, but that wish for that day gives them that reason to smile. And I really did appreciate her explaining how that Make-A-Wish doesn't just work with kids that are terminal. It's about critical illness. And so that allows them to make even more of an impact. And then it becomes you also get these stories of fighting back. And maybe that hope comes from getting their wish granted. It's a pretty powerful act of kindness that Make-A-Wish does. So glad to partner with them. So cool that they were willing to talk with us. Like they're digging what we're doing. They're excited for us. And so when you join us Saturday, we're going to be giving you reminders of why we're doing this. We like to talk about Star Wars, but what a cool opportunity we have here to make a difference. Hey, real quick, we're going to take a little sidestep here before we go on to our next topic, which is some major Lego news. Pete, I'm going to have you take the lead on this one, my good friend.
Okay.
I want you to tell me what the heck is going on over there at BeyondTheBlastDoors.com, because I just feel like BeyondTheBlastDoors.com is the place to be, and I feel this is the time in the show where we should tell people why they should check out BeyondTheBlastDoors.com.
Well, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing we all do is we grab our phones. I think the first thing you should do when you grab your phone is check BeyondTheBlastDoors.com. So this site was started, back when we started the site or the network, and it was going to be just a place for our content. But we have also started to become a source for news. And again, we're not scoopers, but we are getting all that news together for you. So we want to give you the complete experience. Our latest live shows, our podcast feeds, news, speculation, opinion pieces, comic book reviews, all written by people who you hear on the Beyond the Blast Doors network, all the personalities you enjoy. So whether it's movies, TV, books, toys, cosplay, we have you covered on the Beyond the Blast Doors network. And as we say all the time, open the blast doors and welcome to our Star Wars conversation. The website is so much fun. News and video. You can check out all. I'm looking at what's on screen now. Look at all those videos. So much to do. So, we would encourage you to please check us out on BeyondTheBlastDoors.com as a great place to start your Star Wars day.
Absolutely, Pete. And I got to be honest with you, you just absolutely nailed that read. I have no problem telling you that. I will tell you that I pulled the website off the screen like 5 seconds before you finished. So when you're like, hey, look at all these videos, we had just seen all those videos. But that was a really nice job. And it's a perfect... Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying. I would have said it anyway because I'm so excited.
You know what? I love saying it. We're having a blast. Like I love that cliche for our show because it's the absolute truth. Love this conversation we're having. We're having good, fun conversation, sometimes tough conversation. But you know what? Sometimes we talk Star Wars, and sometimes we just got to talk about something larger than that. We talked to you about BeyondTheBlastDoors.com. One of the articles that you can actually find on there right now is about our next topic, and that is the fact that we truly do have a Lego leak, as Mr. Pete Fletzer mentioned at the top of the show. The idea that we are maybe getting the first modular Lego Star Wars set blows my freaking mind. You're looking at it. Mos Eisley Cantina 75290, 3,100 plus pieces. It's slated to drop September 16th. Now, I don't know. I'm making an assumption with this statement. Pete and I have been friends for a little bit over a year, but I feel like I'm the Lego nut. But I think he has some really cool sets of his own in his collection. Pete, I'm going to pull the image up again because I just cannot stop looking at it. This thing, it's like Picasso. It's a piece of art. We don't have a price for this yet, but what's your reaction to it?
I mean, what you got 3,100 pieces, did you say? And what is it? 21 minifigs? Is that the number that you
Yes.
counted? And cool minifigs too. I mean, you got and you like have all the. This is what Lego does so well is they pick up the little. It's almost like the Mandalorian, the little things on the side that true fans just live for and love seeing. You have a do back there. You have the Figrin Dan's band. You have whatever that white pod thing was outside of the cantina. I'm just seeing that picture now. Holy cow. That's so I'm really excited about this. And it's funny you say that I have not been as much of a Lego fan until recently. And I have something to show you because it actually links back to an earlier streaming Star Wars show. And
Here, I'll pull you up. Do you want to be on screen for this?
Bring me on screen.
Okay,
So,
you're on screen.
and then we'll come back to this because this is definitely worth digging more into, but I have to do this. So a couple months ago, we were doing streaming Star Wars, and the news came out about a particular Lego set for Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
And while we were doing the show, because I was drinking bourbon heavily that night, I ordered it, and I forgot that I ordered it until it showed up today in the mail. This is the Mandalorian Razor Crest. I'm going to try to get a fuller shot here for you. It just came in. I can't wait to build this thing. I'm just looking at it, and I don't know when I'm going to have time to build a 1,000 piece Star Wars Lego set, but I'm excited about it. And that's why looking at 1,000 pieces in this thing and 3,000 in the Cantina set, holy cow. What's your guess on the price point?
You're a dick. You're a real jerk.
Yes.
I can't believe you just did that. That, you know what? I thought it might be something where you're like, here's an action figure or something, have like a humble flex.
No.
And there was really nothing humble about that. You are a gentleman and a savant, and Jesus, you're a jerk. God,
I honestly, I don't
you.
know when I'm going to get it done, but
oh yeah, I'm so busy. I got this really successful podcast. I do this show, and I got kids and a wife and this nice big house, and I'll find some time. I don't know when. I got like 15 rooms I can store my Star Wars collection, and I don't know what I'll do. I don't know.
You're looking at it. It's behind me.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. He had like the den. Now he's in like the broom cupboard underneath the Dursley staircase. Freaking Harry Potter situation. This is terrible. No, I'm really excited that you have that set. You know, we talked to Jay, who is a Lego builder on YouTube. He does like a lot of custom builds, and he actually had like a custom build of the Razor Crest.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. That's so great.
It's dwarfs like the actual officially licensed set that you have in your hand. It's nice. I wish I had it. You caught me off guard. But his is like 5 times the size. It's redonkulous. But no, such a super cool set. I actually wonder. This is up to you. Might keep that in the box because if it says Razor Crest, it actually came out that Lego doesn't have the trademark for Lego Star Wars Razor Crest, whatever. So they've got to change the name of the ship. So it's maybe
it does say it says the Razor Crest. All right, I'll take my time with it.
Yeah, you might want to get a second one.
I'm still trying to second one. Yeah, I'm trying to finish up the Poe Dameron X-wing, so I'll get that done and then
leave one in the box, Pete.
No, take it out.
Andy doesn't like that. Andy from over at Hollow Chronicles wants to slap me upside and down, but I say leave one in the box. No, I'm gonna pull up this image. I'm in love with this, and Pete, when I look at this one, like I said, it's like modular Lego for Star Wars, which I haven't seen before. I'm a big fan of the expert level creator modular buildings. You know, the library, the garage, the Parisian restaurant, the diner. You know, it goes on and on and on. This is the closest we get. I kind of wish that we had like a roof. You know, you could see into it. Like, I wish you could display with the roof over the top. But at the same time, I understand, you know, you want to be able to peek in there and see the scenes. It looks like you get multiple set pieces, which is really cool. You mentioned the diversity of the minifigure. Keep in mind, that's going to drive the price. That's what I'm curious about. We don't have a price. It drops September 16th. When I look at this set, I think about all the, you know, this is a set that could go anywhere from $200 to $450 easily. I don't think it's not nearly the piece count that you got with the Millennium Falcon. But when you're looking at this thing, oh my God, it's a beautiful piece of work.
How many pieces is the Falcon? How many pieces is the Falcon? Do you remember?
Okay, so yeah,
7,000?
I think it's I think it's like 74, 75. A quick Google search will yield how many pieces in the UCS Millennium Falcon.
I'm gonna look that up. How many? Because
I just spelled Millennium Falcon wrong. 7,541 pieces, and that was an $800 set, Pete. And so I would think that if we're dealing with half, I mean, I think that you have every reason to believe that this set could be $300 to $450.
I'm gonna put it at. I feel like I'm on Price is Right. If I guess right without going over, do I win one? I would love that.
No, but you'll probably buy one. So what does it matter,
No.
Pete? Flaunt your wealth again.
I'm gonna put it at $349. It's in a black box though, so
it is. But my God,
$50.
I really want to. You know, growing up, this was one of the scenes that I tried to build myself over and over again. You know, I'd get all my tan bricks at home, you know, piled up, and I would try and make the Mos Eisley, you know, the spaceport. You know, when you every year you get a land speeder, or you get like the little booth that Greedo and Han sit. So like in the last 12 years, you probably could have built this set on your own. But it's so cool to see this. You know, it's uniform. It is a set. Love the figures, but that, you know, 21 I counted. That's really going to drive up the cost of this set. So really curious to see what that price point is. Now, we did not just like find this. Okay, this was posted of all places. The South Korea Facebook page, the South Korea Lego Group Facebook page, accidentally posted this. It was taken down pretty quickly. Woo, we hit Control, you know, S save, you know, right? So we can see these images tonight together. But we want to know what you think about this set that is going to drop in just a couple of weeks. Will you shell out $400 maybe for this set? What is it worth to you? You know, we just got, Pete, I don't know, did you see that Lego set, that Lego Harry Potter Diagon Alley set that dropped?
Harry what now?
There was a Harry Potter Diagon Alley. Yeah, right. It's like, what? What is that? No, it's Diagon Alley from Harry Potter, and it's like 6 different buildings. It's a $400 set. I don't have that money. It's a global pandemic, Lego. What do you not get? Anyways, let us know. Live chat. Or
Gilster's
let us
guessing
know
500. Matt Harrington saying 400 to 500. You know, Gilster may not be wrong, because Holo Chronicles is bringing up here that new Betrayal at Bespin set is 2,800 pieces, and that came in at $350. So,
oh my gosh, you're right. Oh my goodness, and now it said sucked compared to this. I mean, it was terrible. It was. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, I'm just not sure. I didn't realize it was that big. But yeah.
Yeah. No, that's terrible. Like if that's what the Bespin set, that's alarming. This is going to be pricey. I mean, it's going to be out of my range. I'll live vicariously through whoever wants to buy it, or I guess we could, if you want to donate after September 5th to our Lego fund, that's fine. September 5th, it's all about Make-A-Wish. September 6th, it's all about the Legos. No, but seriously, this is going to be a pricey set, but one can dream. One can hope. If you're Pete Fletcher, you've already pre-ordered it. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm just teasing you. I love you so much. Hey, it's the last topic here on Beyond the Blast Doors, BTBD Live on a Thursday night. So glad that you're with us. We just hope that you're having such a fun time. This is, like I said, a year in the making. Pete and I on this new era of BTBD Live, and we're just having so much fun with you. And it was a lot of fun when we got the Mandalorian announcement 2 days ago. The Mandalorian official Twitter account puts out there, Pete, that October 30th is the day they are going to premiere Season 2 of The Mandalorian on Disney+. Pedro Pascal and company up to their antics. When this first dropped, what was your reaction? Because I got my hopes up for a lot more to happen that day.
I thought, yeah, maybe they're going to drop this, and within 24 we'd get the trailer. But it's funny. I'm officially at that point now where I'm like, I don't even need a trailer. Let's stop the madness. I'm excited to talk to Noah and Corey about that whole thing on Saturday when we have them on our Beyond the Blast Doors live opener of the Podathon. They're going to join us at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, and we're going to talk about that, among other things. But yeah, I think we're kind of done with the whole trailer. We're gonna get one. We're probably gonna get one. I don't know, sometime. But my first reaction was it was blue, and I love when Star Wars changes colors for the next movie or the next whatever. I like the colors. It looks like the first planet from the first episode. I don't think it is, but you never know.
No, and you know what? I hate to not just immediately respond to your statement, but I am excited to share something because we opened the blast doors a little early for our fundraising effort for September 5th for Make-A-Wish. And congratulations, everyone. You have helped us get to our first milestone because Beyond the Blast Doors Network has just crossed the $100 milestone for our fundraising effort. Again, you can continue the goodwill right now through the end of September 5th. Our goal is $500. I have every reason to believe that if we've already been able to rally this much generosity already, we will get there by the end of Saturday night. And just, we've seen this generosity before from our Star Wars family, from our, the people who take part in our conversation, and it's just super cool. So thank you for helping us get there. Of course, we got the info on our website, beyondtheblastdoors.com. You can find out also how to give. We'll also throw the graphic up here in just a little bit. Wow, that's super cool. Pete, kind of going back to what you said, I was confident that within like a couple of hours we were going to see this trailer, and because to me it made sense. It was after Star Wars Celebration was slated to actually take place in Anaheim. I'm of the mindset that we have been in this pandemic for months. There is nothing else going on. The Mandalorian doesn't need a 5-day or 4-day convention to get hype. The Mandalorian trailer is going to drop. It's going to be hot. Listen, James Bond trailer has something like 10 or 20 million views already. The Mandalorian trailer literally will not be far behind. It's that big. And so I thought, okay, this kind of times out because, okay, now we know it's October 30th, which is basically November 1st. I mean, if we're going to be real complaining about it, if we're going to be whiny Star Wars fanboys, it's basically November. But it's October 30th, couple of months out. Okay, let's drop the trailer. But here's the thing, Pete. Tell me if I'm wrong. I've seen a lot of people talking about The Mandalorian without a trailer. And I feel like Disney has a strategy, Lucasfilm has a strategy, and because of how fans are, how the fandom is, how the community is, they know when they drop this trailer, it's going to slap.
Well, I think what's interesting too is like most shows on streaming services, and I think we have to remember this, drop without a lot of fanfare. They kind of just happen, right? You just kind of hear, oh, next week the new season of Ozark is hitting or whatever, and it just kind of happens. You know it's coming, but there's very little fanfare, and I think we expect it as Star Wars fans. It could be trying a different way to market this year. I mean, look, everybody, those that are going to watch it are going to watch it. Nobody is not going to watch it because they didn't get the trailer. Nobody's going to be less excited on October 30th because we didn't get a trailer. Are they going to see record-breaking numbers on day one? Probably not without a trailer, because like my dad's not going to know about it. But we're going to know about it. And so I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna just for fun. I'll put my money on the pool on September 16th. That's the day I think we'll get it. I'm just throwing that out there. 6
I'm
weeks.
trying to go through the calendar, and I'm like sifting through, being like, what's the big football game on ABC or something?
Yeah, maybe
like it's got to
Monday Night Football. It'll be a Monday Night Football game. You're right. Yep.
I'm trying to like figure that out. Listen, there's no way of knowing, but I guess to my point, I always feel like I ramble about when I'm trying to make this exact point like all the time. But it's just Star Wars does not need a big event to make a statement. Like it's going to hit the internet. It's going to be a splash. And the Star Wars community is so active that there are millions and millions and millions of fans know that this thing is going to happen. Now there's millions and millions that don't. Your dad might not. My dad, He doesn't know. My dad's foaming at the mouth, Pete, about Kenobi. He is so excited. He's like, it could be 12 minutes. I don't give a shit. This is going to be the best thing ever. And I'm like, wow, Dad, I did not realize that you were so excited to see a hermit play in the sand for 12 minutes. But I think, Dad, we're going to get maybe 8 or 10 episodes. That's not a fact. I'm just speculating. Don't try and quote me. I don't want to be the bane of everyone's existence.
Scoop.
Yeah, no scoops here. I mean, once it happened, and that's just because I saw someone tweet before everyone else. Okay, so really excited though about Mandalorian season 2. Really excited about the trailer. Excited to see when we get it, because who doesn't enjoy a good trailer?
Sure.
Maybe the Hollow Crackle boys don't, because it seems like Andy and Josh say we don't need a trailer. We just drop the season. Just we don't need a trailer. Pete, you don't agree with that, do you?
I think we don't need a trailer, but
No, we don't.
Marketers marketing this event needs a trailer. And I guess, that might be, look, with streaming services, I'm not an expert in streaming services at all, but maybe there's data that shows that you can't pump it too early, right? Maybe if they make it too far out, people will forget it, and then they're gonna have to spend more money than they need to.
You can't always get what you want. Hey, Matthew Harrington says, yeah, if it's Monday Night Football, it's either going to be the 14th or the 21st. 21st is closer to the month. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's closer to a month out, so a little bit more than, so that would be really interesting. Semper Fi says Monday Night Football on the 9th. That's bold. Well, but then again, you know what, though? That's like the first week that the NFL is back, right? So it's
trying
like,
to make sure everybody's watching, right?
Ooh, that's wild. I mean, that's the potential for that viewing audience would be redonkulous, right? Because isn't it like 100 million views for the Super Bowl? And that's when there's not like derechos happening and hurricanes happening and a global pandemic happening.
Right.
Like, I mean, this could be okay. All right. You know what? I'm going to put my money on Monday Night Football. That's where I put my money. I think that's going to be great. It seems like a lot of people are there too. Also, we've got like a lot of like wild bids for dollar amounts for this Lego set. Gilster says $500.
Yep.
My loins
I don't
hurt
think
after
he's far
reading
off.
that.
I think he could be right on with that. I think 500 is I can see it $4.99 sitting there on your Lego store shelf, that you can't get into because of the pandemic.
Pete, what do you think about this? Dale Erdman, we got The Phantom Menace 3 days before its release, and people bought tickets to movies just to see it in theaters because that was the only place you could watch it.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah, no,
I want a trailer now.
Well, but is it a Star Wars trailer culture? And again, we're playing in a different world. The streaming service is a different place for Star Wars to go. Look, at the end of the look, if I'm trying to be a marketer of what's happening here for Star Wars right now, you have a very active social media space. So all of us are talking about it. The only people that a trailer will affect are the people who are not in that 5% of fans like us who are there and digging in every day and really having that conversation. So you drop it today, you have to market it for another 2 months, another full all of September, all of October. Why not wait till you get closer, build that excitement with the people that need it? And it's a streaming service, so it's not like you have a certain amount of time in the theaters. You don't need a huge opening day. You just need people to know about it. It's a different way to market a piece of entertainment. And I think we're trying to apply episode 7, 8, and 9 kind of logic to The Mandalorian, and I don't think we can.
I think you're right. It's because it's not a TV show, or it is a TV show, Pete. It's not a movie. It's not
right.
Big blockbuster. I am curious. Man, we made such a stink about this with The Last Jedi, right? Because the merchandising, because it was competing with Infinity War, and it's kind of the reason why I don't like Disney owning all of these large blockbuster franchises. I'm kind of curious to see what the toy shelves look like. I want to see what the end caps look like when you go to retail shops. I do want to see what that marketing campaign looks like. It might be even more scaled back, thinking that, we're not supposed to be out. I think of maybe the political stances that Disney will hold, very progressive, maybe won't actually put more in the stores to keep people at home. Maybe it's going to be a lot more of an online digital presence. I'm excited to see how that rolls out. Maybe it's going to be like right now, So I live in Iowa, and I'm getting political ads out the wazoo. I'm so tired
Yeah,
of
I'm
hearing
sure.
about people's backgrounds and military years, and I'm appreciative of the service. I'm burnt out already, and it's not November
Right. It's
yet.
not even. Yeah.
So I would take a couple Mandalorian trailers in there, like just knock me dead with it. I'd
Just
be
break
fine
it up
with
a little.
Absolutely. Hey, I need to play catch up here, Pete, because we got a second super chat from Jared the Dark Jedi. He put this one early to us, so I want to shout him out. One of the things that make the John Finn situation so frustrating is that Finn's story writes itself. Stormtrooper revolt with a new would-be Jedi. Yeah, you and I kind of made the same point, Pete. It'd be really
Yeah.
cool to have witnessed Finn make that progression, learning that he's force sensitive and a Jedi. I mean, you would have taken that, right?
Yeah, I think the Revenge of the Sith, the the Rise of Skywalker, um, had so many opportunities, and I said it on Twitter not too long ago, and I'm still trying to figure out how to do it. I need to have a conversation. Nick Milky and I have talked about it. Um, we need to have a conversation about where it was all missed. I feel like there was a lot of missed opportunities, and Finn is not what was not developed. He really wasn't.
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity. But again, I can sit here and be like, well, I said some of the same things that John said, but
Yeah.
it's not the what. It's not the what. Yeah, I said the
Right.
what 4 years ago. It's the
Mm-hmm.
why, and
Yep.
there is bigger issues there. So always want to make that the focus. It's not the what, it's the why. Gilster says, Pete, you're a bad influencer. Your Stormtrooper music video inspired me to pick up the Black Series Stormtrooper.
Yes.
Heck
You're
yeah.
welcome.
Silver colored knob. I always isn't there like a Silver Spoon pickup band or something? I don't know. I
There's
always
Silver Sun pickups, but
yeah. They're not Star Wars parody band.
They're not singing about stormtroopers and Baby Yoda.
No, they're not. But Silver Colored Knob is, by the way, a full interview with David Drennan, who's the lead singer. He's 1/3 of that group. Pete Fletzer makes 2/3, and then Scotty J. Rowe completes it as the third member of that group. Great stuff. Both those songs you can listen to. Where can you listen to those songs, Pete?
Well, I'm glad you asked, David. Actually, so both videos are on Beyond the Blast Doors on YouTube, and you can download it or buy it on Apple or any music streaming service. You can find Stormtrooper by Silver Colored Knob, or you can find This Is the Way by Silver Colored Knob. So those are available. And David and I, over the last week, have been working on our next single. So we're just having so much fun with this. It's a blast.
Not me, David. Not me, David. David
No,
Drennan.
David Drennan.
I'm not that kind of
The
artist.
musically oriented David versus the news and reporting oriented David.
I didn't know where he was going to go with that.
I wasn't sure either.
Matthew Harrington says he is a virtual roadie for SCK. Are you guys saying sick, or do you say SCK?
Well, when we say it, we say sick, but we're not big enough to make our own nicknames yet. So
I would encourage you to let someone else do that, but that's just me.
That's normally the way to go. Yeah.
That's just me. Hey, listen, what a great hour of Star Wars talk. Episode 86 of BTBD Live, and covered a lot, like I said. Some fun times. Had to have, just like talking about people's feelings and hard conversations, but just we're going to have that mentality of, always trying to do better in our world. But either way, you know what? It's just so great to be talking about Star Wars, and really thankful to share this moment with you. I guess I'm kind of in awe, Pete, because I just realized that we've ended this first episode together, and we did streaming Star Wars, and for me, streaming Star Wars was nothing more than pretending that you and I could do BTBD Live together. It just wasn't an option at the time.
Right.
And, knowing that we're going to take streaming Star Wars and we're going to morph that into a segment, like a stereotype, like kind of, I don't know. We kind of talked about back and forth, kind of like an old, like, radio news show. I don't know, but, we're going to keep that part of the show, but the fact that this is what BTBD Live is, I'm so thankful that we can share this moment with everyone watching and listening.
Absolutely, and let us know. Keep in contact with us on Twitter and here in the chat, and let us know what you want to see with BTBD Live. Is it do you want to see more streaming Star Wars style or more new style? I think this episode was sort of a blend of what we expect to bring to you, but we'd love to hear what you like, what you don't like about it.
Pete, you need to remember the wine or the bourbon next time. I had a seltzer.
Yes, this was all water tonight. Yeah, this was kind of yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to lean
This
out.
is a Thursday night, but I can do it. I can get drunk on Thursday nights.
I've been told I need to lose weight, so That's what's happening in my world. That wasn't my doctor. That was my wife. I'm kidding.
I was
She's
gonna
never
say
said
you're
a thing.
married now. This is what
No, I know.
happens, my friend.
Yeah, right. No, so much fun. I'm still gonna take bets on, and maybe that's the poll question of the week, Pete. Is when is this trailer going to drop? And we're going to just give different Monday Night Football dates. Before we go, let's do one more shout out if we can for the Podathon. And real quick, this is who you get to hang out with this Saturday, September 5th, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Pete, we're kicking things off at 9 o'clock, right?
We will be here 9 o'clock Eastern time. The first we're gonna wrap that show up with Noah and Corey, or not wrap it up, but they'll be on at some point during the show. Then Alex Damon is going to be on with Bombad Cast, which is amazing. Pally Boys from the UK are going to be on with Holla Chronicles. Then of course me and Scotty and David Drennan are going to talk about music for an hour for Silver Colored Knob, and then we're premiering a brand new show. Watch us on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. We'll show you a commercial for it, but a brand new show that we're going to bring to the network called Bounty Hunting. It's going to be a wild ride, a wild ride. And then thankfully, I want to thank now ahead of time Fantha Tracks, Mark Newbold and friends, and Sisters with Sabers. They're going to do their own show on Beyond the Blast Doors Network in support of the charity efforts we're putting through there. So I'm excited about that. Bespin Bulletin is going to be interesting. We have Kessel Run Radio, and we're going to have Bespin Bulletin. We're going to get some stuff there. And then just our regular shows going throughout the rest of the day. And then I am very lucky. I have Alex Segura, who just released Poe Dameron Free Fall. And he's going to join us to anchor the show. And then at 9 o'clock, we're going to see who wins this this Boba Fett prototype helmet right here. Not this one, but one in a box. So
Here, I'm gonna bring you full one last time. Show off that helmet. Oh God, it's beautiful. And yours comes in a box.
Yes, yours will come in a box. Mine came in a box, but had to take it out. Ask the Holo Chronicles boys if you take it out of the box or leave it in the box. It's a whole thing for them. So,
hey, Pete,
Dave, this was a blast, man.
You know what? And it got even sweeter too, right? Because just joining us on Patreon, joining our Star Wars conversation on Patreon, we have Semper Fi Danny joining us. So glad that he is with us now. Danny joining the conversation. Oh, I'm sorry. I knew that. Sorry, Danny. But so glad that you were with us on that conversation. And I want to shout out while we have the chance, Josh and Andy again. They are taking the helm of our Patreon, and what they have planned is really cool, and it's a more engaging experience, a lot more opportunity to interact, a lot more chance to give away cool, network swag and other cool items, kind of like the helmet that we're giving away Saturday. Our Patreon community helps make that all possible. So shout out to Danny for being with us. Also shout out to Annie and Josh for their hard work, really making the Patreon playground a fun place to be.
Thank you, Danny, for joining.
All right. Well, the time has come.
I guess that's it.
And so it is our final curtain. And I was trying to do Frank Sinatra, and it was just a complete cluster bomb. But hey, you know what? Episode 86, it's a thing of the past now, because this ship has sailed. The show is over. It's been a great time having the Star Wars conversation with you. As always, you can find us 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube. You can always listen to our Star Wars conversation on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud. May the Force be with you. We will see you on Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern, 12 hours of non-stop Star Wars talk to raise money, to grant wishes with Make-A-Wish America. We'll see you then. May you have a great rest of your night.